There have been many games to come and go over the years. Some find the spotlight and shine for thousands or even millions of people to enjoy. Others fade away into obscurity. And very, very rarely, one of these obscure games is so great that I feel like everyone should get the chance to marvel at its wonder. Today, I'd like to share just such a gem. What I consider to be the most underrated, overlooked game of all time. Sort of. I'm Ben, and I'm just a man seeking meatball. So, let's take a look. Now, to understand why this game was and is so great, we've got to rewind time a dozen years to when it came out. The board game scene at this time was full of innovation, discovery, and transformation. And one of the biggest, most ambitious, most exciting and popular genres of the time was the 4X game. The 4 X's standing for explore, expand, exploit, and exterminate. And of course, any 4X worth their weight had to have a 5th X, extremely cool tech trees. And of all the 4X games, the most epic of all were the space epics. 12 years ago, the kings of the industry were Twilight Imperium 3rd edition and Eclipse New Dawn for the Galaxy. Oh, how much we've grown. Now, these are not underrated. No. These are beloved classics. And I love them too. Twilight Imperium was a game that wrapped the action selection popularized in Eurogames such as Puerto Rico or Race for the Galaxy, and it brought it to the most epic of scales. It being famous for the game that lasts an entire day, there was just so much to explore, so much variability, so much politics and fun. Believe it or not, I played this game for years, every single month. We adored it. We knew every action card, every race, every technology, every module. I still miss those carefree days where I could just play all night, all the time. Now, Eclipse then took lessons from Twilight Imperium, but packaged it into a tighter, shorter, more economical package that was a little less epic. 12 years ago, I can honestly say that this was my most anticipated game. I couldn't wait to design my own blueprints to maximize the strengths of one of the very different races' ships. Oh, I remember staying up while visiting family for Christmas, reloading a webpage time and time again in order to get my order in for the first printing. I loved the game so much that I eventually got both the ship pack and both expansions. Yeah, I said both. I even had to order this one from Australia and import it in. Most collectors don't even know about it. It had time-traveling aliens that could take resources from the future selves. It's wild. And these two epics have created ripples in the board gaming scene ever since their release. Yet to me, there was a third great 4X game. It didn't take all day. Heck, it didn't even take a few hours. No, all you needed was an hour or just a little more and a few friends. It didn't take an hour to explain the rules. In fact, it was so simple, you could play it with anyone. And it's instantly enjoyable. I've played it with my mom, with kids, and with the most hardcore of gamers. And it's always enjoyable. But how can you package all 5 X's into a game that lasts only about an hour? That's approachable and easy and fun? Well, let me introduce you to Ascending Empires. So, does Ascending Empires really do all 5 X's? Well, let's check. Explore? Check. Expand? Check. Exploit? Check. Exterminate? Check. Extremely cool tech trees? Double check. And all that in just a hair over an hour. So, to keep it simple, you can do one of 5 things on your turn. First, recruit troops. Add troops to your planet. Second, mine. Remove troops from a planet for victory points. Third, build a building. Exchange troops from a planet for a building. Fourth, develop a technology. Research one of the 4 very distinct colored tracks where you have enough research facilities built. And lastly, fifth, move. This is where it really is different. You launch into space, flick your spaceships around the galaxy, land on other planets, and blow up enemy spaceships or buildings on your way. That is what you can do on your turn. And there's very little rules overhead besides that. You can instantly get into the fun of jumping into the tech trees and vying to win in your own way. Now, typically, I'm not a huge fan of flicking games. I find that most are really fun to try out, but they lack the depth to revisit them time and time again. Now, Ascending Empires is the exception. The flicking makes protecting your buildings or attacking your enemies really feel dangerous. Will you make the flick? Will you collide spaceships, thus destroying both of yours? Can you ricochet off that planet and just land within range? This isn't the whole game. It's just one element. Just as dice can add chance and excitement, here, the flicks are what give that extra level of excitement with unknown outcomes. The game is just plain old fun. I've been playing it consistently for years, and I feel like I'm the only person in the world who knows about it. Well, besides my friends and family, who I force to play it with me every once in a while. Most board game reviewers, I would venture to guess, haven't even heard of it. Now, part of that might be due to a few problems in the production. Mining feels like a waste of an action. And the board, the warped board. I have a permanent house rule that if a disc bumps into the board, you get a free reflick as the rest of us apply pressure to try and make as smooth a surface as possible. It wasn't a perfect printing, far from it, but the game is so fun. And thus, I deem it the most underrated, overlooked game of all time. That is, I did think that until last year. Out of nowhere, we got an announcement that WizKids is producing a second edition. 12 years later, they've changed a few rules to make it faster, to make it more streamlined, and above all, they're introducing a neoprene mat. That's much, much better than this bumpy board. I may be the only one shouting hallelujah from the rafters, but man alive, am I excited for this game's day to shine in the spotlight and for gamers to discover just how fun flicking spaceships in space can be. And with that said, I'm Ben, and have yourself an amazing game night soon.